Hi, everybody. Today we are going to talk inferences. Let me go over our Schoology page really quick and kind of go down the expectations. So as always, you always want to click on number 1, and that will show our SOLs and learning targets, and I will go over those in just a few moments. Then you have number 2, which is to engage you, and that is a discussion question. Under number 3 is where you could find this video. So whenever I am explaining what's going on for the day and going over the lesson, that's always under the explain section. And if you're watching this video, it means that you have already clicked on that section. We will also be reviewing our CSI slides from last class. Then we're going to predict the plot of the story that we're going to read. We're going to access that story, which is called Lamb to the Slaughter on Common Lit. And the way to get in there is right here on the front. So you would click on the link. And after you read certain paragraphs, we are going to have a class discussion and make some inferences based on what's happening in the story. So that's what we have planned today. And then our homework section. So anytime I assign homework, you just click in that section and it will let you know exactly what you have to do. All right, so let's go ahead and talk inferences. Okay, so our learning target, I can make inferences and draw conclusions using text evidence. So go ahead and click on number 2 if you have not already. And that's our take a good look what's going on. So I want you to look at that picture and think to yourself, what is happening in this picture and what makes me say that? I want you to write a sentence or 2 to explain what you think is happening in the picture. It says in the picture below. So for you guys, it's below. For me, it's up top. And then I also want you to write 1 to 2 sentences explaining the details in the picture that helps you decide what is happening. So if you haven't already taken care of that, you can go ahead and take care of that and just pause the video. Okay. So when you're thinking of inferencing, which is the skill that you use to tell me what's happening in that picture from the discussion post in number 2, you need to think of it as a math equation. So this is our go-to strategy. It says plus I say equals so. So when I say it says, I'm talking about what you've read. You should use quotes from the text to get clues about what's happening in the story. So you add that to what to I say. And that's what you know about what's going on. So for this part, you want to use that background knowledge and prior experiences from your life to help you determine what's happening. So you couple those things together, and then it's so. And that's what you infer. So you put 2 and 2 together, and you make a conclusion about the story. Okay. So it's what I read, which is what does the text say? Is there evidence or a quote or a line that you can reference for later? Add that to what I know. What connections do you make to what you read? Do you have any background knowledge or experience with what's going on? Equals what I infer. What conclusions can you draw based on what you read and what you know? What do you think? So that's what you're going to be doing today. Making an inference and drawing a conclusion, they are very similar skills. So each one requires you as the reader to fill in the blanks left out by the author. And an author may not include information for several reasons. So they might think you already know it. It might not really seem important to them. Or they might want you to find the result. So there are a lot of different reasons why the author may choose to leave out information, and then you have to be like a detective. So How do you make an inference or a conclusion? You want to observe all of the facts, arguments, and information that's given by the author. So you want to read very carefully. You want to consider what you already know from your own experiences. And when faced with multiple choice answers, which can sometimes be tricky, right? You want to determine whether each is true or false based on the information in the passage. So think of it, like I said, like you're a detective on the case, like with our CSI slides, because you are inferring on those. And you have to look at the details and the evidence to figure out what's going on. So you're not just guessing all willy-nilly. You want to make sure that you're making an educated guess that is based on evidence and clues from the text that you're reading. So let's go ahead and look at the teacher model. The woman waited nervously in line. When the counter was empty, she carefully unloaded her items from her cart. Lines creased her forehead as if to show the calculations ringing up in her head. Finally, the cashier began ringing up the items as the woman clutched her purse. So what is happening in this situation? Well, the writer doesn't come out and tell us exactly what's going on. We have to use our inferencing skills. So certain things that stand out to me is that she carefully unloaded her items from her cart. So I feel like she's at a grocery store, because I think about grocery stores being places that mostly use carts for items. Something that also stands out to me is that it says she waited nervously in line. Lines creased on her forehead as if to show the calculations. So the lines are creasing on her forehead as her items are being rung up. And also, she's clutched her purse. So all of those things indicate to me, and let me go ahead and show you where those things are highlighted. So based on the evidence, like I said, we can infer that she's at a grocery store. She's nervous because she's not sure if she has enough money to pay for all of her groceries. So the author didn't come out and tell me that. I had to use clues from the text. I had to infer based on the information that was provided. So let's go ahead and take a look at this one. Turner almost wished that he hadn't listened to the radio. He went to the closet and grabbed his umbrella. He would feel silly carrying it to the bus stop on such a sunny morning. So based on the information that you have, which probably happened? Is it A, Turner realized that he had an unnatural fear of falling radio parts? Is it B, Turner had promised himself to do something silly that morning? C, Turner had heard a weather forecast that predicted rain? Or D, Turner planned to trade his umbrella for a bus ride? So which one do you think it is? Do you think it is A, B, C, or D? If you said C, Turner heard a weather forecast that predicted rain, you are absolutely correct. So what evidence helped you to come to this conclusion? So think about that. How did you know that the answer was C? When we look at the passage, it lets us know that he wished he hadn't listened to the radio. So he listens to it, he grabs his umbrella, and then it says he would feel silly because it was such a sunny morning. So somewhere along the line, he has listened to that weather forecast that predicted rain, and he's taking that umbrella, even though it's sunny right that moment, because rain is expected. So take a look at this one. Larry, as your boss, I must say that it's been very interesting working with you, Miss Valdez said. However, It seems that our company's needs and your performance style are not well matched. Therefore, it makes me very sad to have to ask you to resign your position effective today." So which was Miss Valdez asking Larry? Was it A, she would feel really bad if he decided to quit? B, he was being fired? C, he was getting a raise in pay? Or D, she really enjoyed having him in the office? So which do you choose? A, B, C, or D? If you chose B, then you are absolutely correct. Poor Larry. He's being fired. All right. So what evidence helped you to come up with this conclusion? So how did you know that Larry was being fired? When we look at the text, Ms. Valdez makes sure to say that the company's needs and his performance are not well matched. Then she also goes on to say she's very sad. Then she says she's going to have to ask him to resign or leave his position today. So Larry's being fired and he hasn't even had any notice. So if you picked B, you are absolutely correct. So some strategies to remember when inferring or drawing conclusions, you want to read the whole passage. So no skimming, please. When you skim, you miss out on some details. You want to highlight to answer the question. So any text that hints at the answer or helps you think about the question, you want to go ahead and highlight it. You want to eliminate answers that can't be correct. We've all been there. Typically, you have two answers that you can eliminate right away, and then there are usually two left that might be close. You want to justify what's left. So look for the best answer. There could be more than one that's true, but you want to look for the answer that is best, that is supported by the information in the passage. If there's any tough vocabulary in the answers, you want to use your word association skills to take a strong guess at what it means. All right. So I told you guys that we would have some more time to work on this activity, but you are going to have to work on it individually. I know that we started off in groups, but it's kind of hard to do the whole breakout room thing when some people are in the class and some people are virtual. So we're going to kind of review and work on our CSI Princess Anne Middle School Division Google Slides. This assignment can be found in the March 19th folder. Once this assignment's complete, make sure you submit it. It's a shame if you missed out on the wonderful grade that I'm sure you're going to get because you forgot to submit the assignment. If you finish before time is called during class, I want you to work on any of the assignments below. So you can complete any missing assignments. You can complete the Unit 1 test corrections. You can study for the Unit 2 test. You can read silently. You can practice an IXL skill. So those are all things that you can do if you finish your slides before your classmates are finished. They are due today. So just make sure you finish them and you submit them. If you need to, you can go ahead and pause the video at this time and work on completing those slides. But I am going to move forward. All right, so the next thing that you're going to do is predict the plot. So we're all excited. We all want to find out what happened with the case of Patrick Maloney. You're the detective. You've been working this case. You've been gathering your evidence and clues. And so I want you to tell me what you think is going to happen, the plot of the story. So in a discussion post, I want you to answer these questions. Who do you think killed Patrick Maloney? How did this person kill him? Why did this person kill him? Does the guilty person get brought to justice in the end? How does the person get caught or avoid getting caught if you don't think they get caught? So I want you to go ahead and answer those questions. Then I want you to read and respond positively to one of your classmates. And everybody, try not to respond to like the first couple of classmates and then they have like several different responses, and then some people in the class have no responses. So try to kind of spread out and see if you can respond to somebody who maybe doesn't have a response. If you need to, go ahead and pause the video at this time. Okay, so the next thing that we need to do is we are going to read the text and make some inferences along the way as we read the story. So I need you to go ahead and access Lamb to the Slaughter on Common Lit. And within assignment number 6, there is a link that you can click on and it will take you right to the assignment. The text is in guided reading mode. So this guarantees that you will be reading the text and making those inferences to show that you understand what's going on. And that's the only way, answering those questions, that you'll be able to advance through the text. So go ahead and access that now. As you read, in addition to the guided reading questions that you'll be making inferences to, I'm going to have a couple of questions of my own. So we're going to be discussing the text and also summarizing what you've read along the way. All right. And this is part 1 of inferences and drawing conclusions. And tomorrow we'll be doing that as well, and we'll be finishing reading the text because we're not going to be able to finish it today. So I will see you guys tomorrow, and enjoy this part of the story that we've read. And we are actually going to read paragraphs because they are numbered in order of paragraphs. So we're going to read paragraphs numbers 1 through 38. All right, guys, see you tomorrow for making inferences using Lamb to the Slaughter part 2.